So, first of all, good afternoon. Thank you so much for taking out time. Like Preksha told us that you were not well as well. Still, you made it
Yeah,
today and giving us the opportunity to interact with you. Thank you so much. And like before we begin, we would really like to appreciate the efforts the Periphery has taken for the amazing work you people are doing. Like hats off and thank you so much
thank
once
you.
again
Thank you.
for taking out time. And now, like I'll like to hand over to Vinamra, and with your permission, if we could start with the questions.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Anytime.
Thank you, Nishant. Yeah,
How did you come to know about us? Like, just curious. Through the internet, or someone told you about it?
through the internet.
internet.
Yeah. We read some articles on yourstory.com too. There was one article,
Okay.
and it
Nice,
was
nice.
really good. And the idea itself was really good because you have to do something from the ground. You
Exactly.
have to
Exactly.
rise their economical status. The transgender people, and you
Yes.
have to make them strong to survive, to enable them to survive in this world.
Yes, yes.
So
Very
that
true.
was
Very true.
something that really hit us.
Yeah, I'm really glad it did. I'm really glad.
Uh, Vinamra, we can start. Everyone has joined.
Yes. So, Nishant, the first question we have for you is we would like to ask you that how did this idea of periphery came about, and what
Hmm.
is the model of the company, the revenue model of the company?
Okay, so I'll give you a bit of context in terms of how this thing came about. So my partner, who is also the founder of the organization, her name is Neelam, and she was working in Goldman Sachs for a period of 2 years. And in that period, she got a social project that she needed to comply with to finish off those certain requirements that are there. Right, every year you'll get a social project where you need to do a little bit of volunteering and things like that. So her thing was meeting a transgender person and understanding about their life. So she met a person named Uma, and this person had an engineering degree, however, was not able to get a job anywhere. However, Neelam was like, I don't want to wait. So she left her job and she started spending a lot of time with the community, understanding their issues, uh, what is what is their exact need. And then we realized like financial independence is their exact need. So that is what we started providing them. And in terms of our revenue model, how we function is we function as an outright consultancy for the transgender community. Um, all the services that we provide towards the community, like giving them jobs, skilling, creating their resumes, grooming, A to Z is provided to them for free. We only charge our corporate clients and corporate partners for our services, like placement services. We do sensitivity training and also CSR partnerships for training the transgender folks uh, through corporate skilling and things like that. So our revenue model is basically a consultancies model, but we don't charge anything from the communities end.
That's really
Got it.
nice. So, Nishant, can you share your experience with the periphery? What has been the journey about since you joined the company?
Sure. So I joined the company, I think 6 months after the company was started. So we had already made a few placements and we were already going, like, we were already building our client base and candidate base and things like that. But the reason why it happened was I was into my family business for like 6 to 7 years. Okay. And I was genuinely not happy, not like, whoa, that thing is that, no, you wake up in the morning and you're happy to go to work. You have that desire to drive that was not there. Everyone saw it. My parents saw it. My friends knew it. Everyone knew it, but nobody knew like what to do and things like that. So I just joined in Periphery as an intern because I knew Neelam, the founder, for a very long time, and I was really good at handling social media and stuff like that. So I told her that I'll help you guys out on your social media marketing or creating a reach on social media and things like that. Once I joined in as an intern, there was this one story. Like, I think it'll answer your stories question also that you have later on. So there was this one story. This girl, she was begging on the street for 30 years. Okay, and she got a job that was paying her a salary of mere 8,500 rupees, like 8,500 ki salary she was earning. And because she was in that job, her family accepted her. She performed all the rituals in her brother's wedding as a female. So she was actually not just accepted as like as their child, like taken back. She was accepted for who she wanted to be identified as, like as a female. So that story really like took me over, and since then it's just been like I've been really happy doing this book. So yeah.
So, would you consider that story the highest point of what your career has been in Periphery?
Yeah. Since then, it's just been a repetition of that story only. Like people just getting back with their family and like just having the life that they want to have. They want to be in the body that they want to be, and they want to be with people who they really, really love. So yeah, that has been the highest point of this entire journey for me. And I think it will be also until we solve this problem.
That's really nice. So, Nishan, how Periphery? There might have been some challenges in the beginning. So, we would like to
Hmm.
know how Periphery overcame those challenges. With respect to society and with respect to certain people who don't allow such things to move forward. So, would you please throw some light on that?
So actually, see, we have to just accept the fact that there are going to be people who are trying to stop you, and there are going to be people who will support you and will go through with your vision. Okay, and you need to like what we did was so Neelam is a sort of a person who will take up any opportunity that comes. Like she will not leave even the smallest opportunity, whether we are making money or we are not making money. As long as even one person from the community or one of the people are open to hiring are become open to hiring, become open to the acceptance bit of it, we will do it no matter what. So in the start, in the first year we had zero revenue, like there was no revenue at all. We were only building on Neelam and I didn't take salaries, nothing. We were only trying to run the company and trying to build on our base. There was a lot, so we don't force people into jobs as well. The reason why our system is working right now is because people who genuinely want to work and want to change their lives only reach out to us. And through the training and screening process, we also get to know what are these people, what do these people really want to do in their life, so we place them in such jobs as well. So I think that was it. Like it was just word of mouth. The community is very thickly knit together. Even the corporate circles in India are very thickly knit. Like there is a huge place for all the HRs who meet, all the recruiting people that meet, and there is a huge community that just keeps speaking to each other. So if one person gets placed, 10 people will get to know and they'll reach out to us. So it just started off like that, and it was just a ripple effect after it. 2 years back, if you asked me if we would have been able to make 170 placements by now, I will not agree. I'll not even believe it. But we have grown at a very good pace than what we had expected. So yeah, I feel like there are always going to be people who are going to stop you. But if there is even 10%, 10% belief, no, like from the community and from the clients, like you can do a lot. You see the population in India, like even if you hit 1% of the population, like business wise, impact wise, it's a huge number. It's not a small number. So it's just about what you believe in, and if you're actually trying to solve a problem and it's helping out people, I feel like at the end of the day it'll just work out for you, no matter what it is.
Yes. One thing I particularly want to ask is Periphery needs to exist pan India. So we
Hmm.
need this company, to do the work they are doing all across India. So is it happening soon? Are you guys really moving that fast?
So we already work pan India. Uh, Due to the lockdown, since everything is moved online, we have actually expanded to Delhi, Mumbai, Pune. We are making placements in these cities, and we are doing workshops also in these cities. We are also training candidates from across India. So we run an online training, corporate training session for a period of about 30 to 45 days with our existing clients and CSR partners, except like Goldman Sachs, Walmart, ThoughtWorks, ANZ Bank, and things like that. So we are already functioning pan India. Before the lockdown, we had plans of having physical offices in different cities by the end of this year, by the end of 2020, 2021. But since everything is moved so virtual, we are not planning on doing that. We feel like we can utilize these funds for some other things instead of just like. So now we are expanding the team in Chennai itself. We are expanding the office, and we're looking to serve a lot more folks from around India. That is the core thing behind it, but we are doing it all from one place.
So now the next few questions will be asked by Meghna. So
Aram,
thank you.
yeah, ekdam. No
Hi
problem.
Nishant. Wonderful
Hey
to
Meghna,
listen to all your work. So, what
thank you
was
so
the
much.
motivation behind Periphery, specifically targeting transgender and like specifically going into the organized sector, like giving them the job for organized
Go giving them a job,
in organized sector, like you would have
corporate sector, you
encountered,
mean?
yeah, corporate
Okay,
sector.
so okay, the main reason behind focusing on the transgender community was, see, transgender and intersex is actually a physical difference that you see, right? So if you're looking at a person who's trans, immediately there'll be a bias in your head saying that ye banda ya bandi, they will only be in begging or sex work. You don't think about anything else. You don't even know that there are trans men, people who transition from female to male. So transgender is actually a huge term, and since it is a physical difference that we are trying to create a, we're trying to normalize basically. We wanted to focus on this community because, in terms of the entire LGBT spectrum, employment is not the issue. It's only after employment that issues start arising. Like, if a person finds out about your sexual orientation, he might spread the news. Or um, you can share about your partner if you're a heterosexual person, but if you're a gay or lesbian person, you'll not share about your partner at work, right? You'll not prefer to, you'll not be comfortable. Same thing will be bring your family to work day, or you'll not be able to bring your family to work, or bring your partner to work, on your bring your partner to work day. So these problems arise after the employment. But transgender, in terms of employment itself, was a problem. Like, the only two things they had was begging and sex work, and the reason why they were not able to sustain on their own is because they were under someone. They have, at the end of the day, whatever you're earning in begging and sex work, you have to come and pay to the head of the house. So they were not able to flourish and grow under these circumstances. So the reason why we targeted corporate India was because, uh, with 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 the say monetary benefits that comes with the salary, there was also like medical benefits. A lot of organizations were giving surgery benefits also. The entire sexual reassignment surgery was given to what's self-insured, like medically insured by the companies. Then they give relocation expenses. They were ready to help out the candidate in any way possible just to make sure that their life sets off. So these were the two motivating factors for us to only work with transgender community and to only work with corporate clients. It's not like we only function with them. We have a lot of pro bono work that we do. Like, all our basic to low level candidates get placed for free. It's only our experienced candidates that we charge for also. The only reason we do this is because, at the end of it, for us, it's not about the income that we are getting, because we are already very happy with what we are earning. It's just about the sense of impact that we feel like these people have on their lives. And these are the two major factors that we work in the transgender community and with the corporate clients that we work for. It's only because it's the perfect fit. Like, sustainability is high in it. Like, naito, I can get a job for someone at a very basic level, but after 2 months, if you leave that job and you go back to begging, then there is no success in it, right? Like, what am I trying to do? 2 mahine ke liye kuch nahi hoega.
Yeah. Yeah. So who all are involved in this creativity and innovation thing? Uh,
So Neelam came up with the idea. She was the founder of the organization. So before, when she was starting, she was working on it with Steve's, one of her friends. So both of them close. You can call it co-founded the organization. However, Steve's was a photographer and was working on a lot of other things. So after Neelam started it, Steve's moved on to other things, and Neelam had a friend named Trishala. So she joined in. So both of them were working on this, and then 6 months later I joined in. So that is, it was very broken in the start, but it found a structure after a year of doing different things and stuff like that.
okay,
But Neelam
great,
was the person who actually started it and thought about the innovation, what we wanted to do, what we need to do, and things like
great. Um, so what all impact that you feel you have created in the society and environment with this initiative?
that. So in terms of business, see, I'm just looking at the question, and there are two things that we have made an impact to for sure. And one is business and one is society. In terms of business, we have started providing diversity to all our clients. Like, Okay, so diversity in terms of growth is a very, very huge thing because if you see companies like Amazon, Walmart, and stuff, they will not be able to function if they only hire folks from US. Correct? They'll need folks from all around the world because they're catering to an audience all around the world. And if you see the transgender and LGBT market, it's a market worth $2 billion a year. So that's a huge market. And if you want to grow your business, you need to tap into that market. So we've actually created an impact on business that way in terms of growth and diversifying. And in terms of society, I feel like we have started creating acceptance amongst people, and it's not just about creating acceptance towards the community. It's it's about creating acceptance towards yourself. So once you start accepting yourself, only you'll start accepting the community. So you need to accept the fact that this is how it is. This is how people are. They are different, and once you accept that, I think everything in the society changes automatically. So these are the two kinds of impact that I feel like we have created and also creating as we go.
Thank you. Vinamra,
And
you have a question?
yeah, Nishant, just one thing that this is a wonderful idea, as we discussed, to make those people financially independent. So why did not anyone think of that or work in that respect earlier before Periphery emerged?
But I think India is like a very, very huge country, and there are already so many issues going on that nobody thinks about these things. Now, if someone comes up with a consultancy for say the Dalit group in India, like it's a very brilliant idea if you think about it, but nobody is doing it currently. So it's just like idea the pehle bhi. I just feel like we executed it properly. I just feel like people didn't want to get their hands into something they didn't know about, and that was the reason why it didn't happen before. Because a lot of organizations were working on it, but this was not their prime focus. Financial independence was not their prime focus. Their prime focus was mental well-being, health, AIDS control, things like that, because the community was already suffering with a lot of these things. So I think that was one of the reasons.
It was very nice, Nishant. These were the questions that we had, and it was really nice to hear from you and to know about this
Same here, guys.
company. And we wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Chalo. Take care, guys.
Thank
Have
you
a
so
nice
much.
day.
Thank you so much. All the best.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you
Nishant.
so much.
You too.
Thank you
Bye
so much.
bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.